Alright, so now that we've learned how to translate expressions, we're also going to apply that knowledge into interpreting equations. So it's going to be helpful to have those keywords that we learned about the different operations when we're looking at equations. So let's take a look at some equations here. We're going to simplify expressions and solve equations with fractions. So let's look at the first example. Rent a DVD charges a rental fee of $2 per DVD. Remember that per normally meant we multiply it, so I'm going to make a little note. This probably means multiply. Plus a $5 fixed monthly fee. The equation to represent the cost, C, of renting a DVD, D, is shown below. So they're going to use the letter C to represent cost, and the letter D to represent the DVDs. I also see another keyword here, plus, so I know there's an addition in here. So I'm taking 2 times the DVDs I order plus the $5 a month that I have to pay for the fixed monthly fee. So the equation that they give us is right here. The cost, C, is equal to 2 times the number of DVDs that I purchase plus the $5 monthly cost. So let's break this down. Identify the constant, the variable, and the coefficient, and what each represents. So a constant is just a number that doesn't have a letter with it. So the constant in this problem is the 5. And for this problem, it represents the $5 fixed monthly fee. So each month I pay $5 no matter how many DVDs I order. There are 2 variables in this equation. There's the D variable, and D represented the number of DVDs. That you rent or rented. The number of DVDs rented. And the C variable represents the cost per month that I'm paying for the DVDs. So the 5 in the equation represents that $5 monthly fee. The D represents the number of DVDs I purchase. And the C represents the total cost that it's going to cost me for the whole month for using however many DVDs. The coefficient, remember coefficient just means the number in front. The coefficient is 2 in this problem, and it represents the $2 per DVD that you rent. So we're multiplying that 2 times the number of DVDs that I'm renting. So now that I have the equation, I can start plugging values in and solving and using our steps that we've learned to solve 1- and 2-step equations. So the first question asks, determine the cost of renting 7 DVDs in 1 month. So 7 DVDs, for my equation, C equals 2D plus 5, we said the D represents the DVDs. So I'm going to replace the D with the 7. So C equals 2 times 7 plus 5. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 5 is 19. So the cost of renting 7 DVDs in 1 month is $19. On the flip side, the next question asks, determine how many DVDs you can rent to spend $25. So this time in my equation, $25 represents the cost. So I'm going to replace it with the C value. And so we've worked on solving 2-step equations. I subtract 5 from both sides. And then divide by 2. So there you can rent 10 DVDs for a cost of $25 in a month. So this week we're going to work on just interpreting equations and the pieces of the equations. So let's flip it over and look at another example on the back, see if we can do that one. All right, the back equation says you order party favors online. The favors each cost $3, and there is a fixed shipping fee of $11. So that fixed shipping fee again is in here, and last time that just meant we added that to the total of our other costs. This time it wants us to use F to represent the number of favors purchased, and then write an equation to answer the questions below. So we're going to deal with cost again. So my equation is going to be C for cost equals, how much does it cost for each favor? It's $3. So it's going to be 3F, so 3 times the number of favors I purchase, plus $11 per month for the total monthly cost. So we take our $3 per favor, or $3 each for the favor, plus the $11 to get our equation. So the constant in this problem is the 11, and that represents the fixed shipping fee that you have to pay regardless to ship your items. The variables are F and C. F represents the number of favors purchased. And C represents the cost, the total cost. The coefficient in this problem is the 3, and that was the $3 per favor. So each favor costs $3. So using our equation now, we can plug in these values and solve some information from the equation. So the first question asks, determine the cost of purchasing 50 favors. So if my equation was C equals 3F plus 11, favors is going to go in for F. So I'm going to take 3 and multiply it by 50 and then add 11. So the cost of purchasing 50 favors is 150 plus 11, so the cost is $161. Because I took the number of favors and plugged it in for the F variable. Determine how many favors I can buy with $100. So again, I'm going to write my equation. I'm going to plug in 100 for C, because this time it's cost, and solve. I'm going to subtract 11 on both sides. 100 minus 11 is 89. So we can write that down. And now we're going to divide by 3. It's going to give us a decimal answer, so I'm going to round to the nearest cent. So it's $29.67. Actually, for the favors, we're talking about favors. So we're going to round down to the nearest number of favors. So it'll be 29 favors, because you can't have a decimal favor. And there's interpreting our equations again. So tomorrow we're going to work on interpreting equations and just understanding the setup of the equations and how to write them.